Well, good morning everybody. Be back on trail. Lucky from above the clouds hostel just dropped us off at Woody Gap again, where we got picked up yesterday. Had a great stay with the folks at Above the Cloud Hostel. Had a good breakfast this morning, included potatoes and eggs and toast, and it was delicious. Lots of coffee. So we're all fired up and ready to go. Fortunately, the weather, as you can tell, is not cooperating with us so much. It should taper off. We decided just to go ahead and embrace it. And we'll probably get a little bit of wet between now and 10 o'clock. It's about 8:30. And after that, it should clear until early afternoon, and then we'll probably get some more rain before we make it to camp. So what's the plan for today? We are going to hike, I think it's like 12.2 miles, something like that, to a shelter, and it's Hawk Mountain Shelter. Pretty popular shelter if you're going northbound. It's only 8 miles from the beginning of the trail, or in our case, the end of the trail. So for people who are just getting started out, it's a well-used shelter for sure. So we'll go there for this evening and make some dinner, and my guess is we'll probably stay inside the shelter because it seems like we're getting rain every evening now. Might be best just to stay in the shelter if it's not real crowded, and then make our way to the finish line tomorrow. So that's the plan. But today's plan is just keep on marching, in some cases through the rain, make the miles, and see what we see. Unfortunately, with the weather being the way it is and the terrain being the way it is, I don't anticipate a lot of views. There's going to be one view that's going to come up in a few miles at Ramrock. It's called Ramrock. It's a real sharp up and down. It's not very high. It's probably 300 or 400 feet elevation gain to get up to the top of it. But typically a pretty decent view right there in that area. So we'll see. And if there is, I'll certainly capture it. So I hope everybody has an awesome day. And we will look forward to catching up with you a little further down this path. All right, everybody, we're about 1.5 miles in. We haven't come real far yet this morning. But we're standing on top of Ramrock Mountain. It's at close to 3,200 feet, which is kind of close to the highest climb we'll have today. Got some cool views here though. You can see how the clouds are just kind of nestled in between each one of these smaller mountaintops. Kind of nice. All right, we're going to keep on marching on. We just looked at the app, and there's really not a lot of huge climbing today. Again, it's just going to be some of these 300 or 400 foot, ups and downs pretty constantly for the next several miles. All right, let's get to it. All right, everybody, little status update. We've hiked right at 5 miles today. We just left Gooch Gap Shelter, where we found a picnic table, an opportunity to sit down and in a dry spot, have some lunch, kind of an early lunch because it was only like 11 o'clock at the time. And now we're continuing our march south, headed towards the Hawk Mountain Shelter. So we've got a little over 7 miles to get to that point. And so far I really haven't had a lot of rain. It did start raining a little bit while we were sitting in the shelter having lunch, which made that even a better decision. But so far we've just been walking in the woods, really. Just passed over a little pretty water source there, but don't really need water. I'll probably wait till I get to the shelter itself this afternoon and gather up some water for drinking and for cooking, and just keep on pressing on. All right, we'll keep you posted as we make further progress. Just crossed a pretty creek. That's where we're going. We got some climbing to do. All right, everybody, we are rolling into Cooper Gap. We only have maybe 4 miles. Yeah, maybe a little bit more than 4 miles to make it to our destination. So we're making good progress. All right, keep you posted this week. All right, everybody, we're getting a nice afternoon thunderstorm. We're still an hour and a half from the shelter. So, needless to say, we are making memories, and we're going to be soaking wet, but that's okay. Kind of is what it is. It's a part of the reality out here on the trail. So, I'm not sure how much more I'm going to film, but we'll definitely catch up with you as soon as we get back or get to the shelter. All right, everybody. We just came through Hightower Gap, and that means we have about a half a mile to our destination, which is Hawk Mountain Shelter. The big rain that we had lasted for several minutes, I'd say probably half an hour, and has now passed. But I have to say, kind of feels like it's threatening again. So there might be another round coming, and I'm hoping we can get to the shelter before we get rained on hard again. So we'll check back with you as we get to the shelter. All right, everybody, we have made it to our destination. This is the Hawk Mountain Shelter, and it's probably a good 2/10 off the trail. So this is the Blue Blaze Trail that leads us back to the AT. So we had a pretty good day today. It's a longer day for sure. We did 12.5 miles today from Woody Gap, and The hike was disrupted a little bit by a pretty large rainfall. We had thunder, and never really saw a lot of lightning, but there was some thunder in the distance and just a downpour of rain that happened for probably, I'd say, at least 30 minutes or maybe 45. And then once it went away, we were able to put our umbrellas back up and start making some time again. So we did pretty well this afternoon. It's just that there were some pretty good climbs, probably 300 or 400 feet, and they would go down. Then we'd do it over and start it over again. So, but that's typical out here. So nice to say that we have made it to our destination as planned. So everything has worked out the way we would want it to work out. So tomorrow is our last day. So we've got, I think, 8.1 miles up to Springer Mountain. So we look forward to finishing up tomorrow. Should be great. So we're all settled into the shelter now. We've got a couple other folks here. We have had our dinner and got our beds all rolled out and just settling in for the evening. So hope everybody's had a wonderful day, and we'll look forward to catching up with you first thing in the morning. From the Hawk Mountain Shelter.